like to watch Survivor, and when the show ends, you really want to talk about it with like 5 new friends. It might be hard to find some, but don't you shed a tear. Check out the Purple Rock Podcast, and this is what you'll hear. John will tell some dumb jokes, Andy likes to yell and curse, and if they're not available, the backup hosts are so much worse. We'll spend the whole time being jerks and telling you you're wrong. And so we got this other jerk to sing you our theme song. It's the Purple Rock Survivor Podcast.
Welcome to the Purple Rock Survivor Podcast. I am John. My co-host is Andy. The band is back together, and this week we are talking Survivor 49, Episode 5. Andy, I've been gone for 2 weeks. What'd I miss? Well, what's been happening?
There's been like 3 hours of Survivor since the last time I talked to you.
Yeah?
I believe.
And?
Yeah. And there's been 3 hours of Survivor since I talked to you.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, that was the past 2 weeks, of course. This week, we got a whole new episode.
Yeah, actually, I didn't count this week. There's been 4.5 hours of Survivor since I talked to you. And this week, I'll say, I think it was a marginal improvement, which still doesn't push us over the good mark yet.
Right. So, in answer to the question, which
Did
we
I
generally
enjoy
ask.
it? I fell asleep near the end of the episode. I mean, obviously there are external factors. I had 3 hours of basketball practice and all that, but it still isn't something that typically happens to me when I'm engaged with Survivor.
Yeah. The short answer is no, I didn't like that episode. There was maybe some saving grace in certain scenes, but overall it was just like, oh man, again, this just, I don't know. It's not doing it for me. And
you picked the right season to forget that you had a Survivor podcast. I'll say that.
I mean, I certainly planned my vacations well. I'll give myself that.
4 weeks and you're busy Thursday for 3 nights, and it's been like, all right, like here we are. You're back. You should all these takes should just be building up all these things you haven't been able to say.
Yeah. Except that, you know, I generally, for me to have something to say, I think something would have had to happen. And there's not been a lot of that. The one thing that I will be excited to talk about, I think we should lead off with.
Absolutely.
We finally got the thing that I'm mildly invested in. Like, I'm not super invested in any of the players, except for one, which I made clear in my like lone appearance on the podcast this season.
On my podcast, yes.
Yeah, on your podcast that you host and I occasionally guest on. Sage is my rooting interest because she's a fucking freak, and I love it. She's a freak in the best ways. She's authentic.
I mean, we don't know if she's a freak in the best.
Well, I guess
from those of us that listen to a lot of 90s R&B.
Phrasing on that one, I guess, yeah. But no, she's an absolute weirdo, and she's legit that weirdo. She's not playing an act, seemingly. And we finally got her against somebody that is playing a fucking act. And it was Shannon, who has grated on me for weeks now. How did this land with you?
It was the highlight of the episode.
Right.
So you weren't here last week. I thought last week the saving grace where the season was starting to get a little interesting is that it hinted at and gave us a debut of what I was pretty confident was the villain of the season in Shannon.
Yeah.
Like, it really felt like a villain, like, and one that I could get invested in for the opposite way, right? To see her fail, to see her brought down.
Yep.
I was a bit concerned last week. It's like, but is that just because of like my own personal feelings towards like people that are like outwardly like religious-y and stuff? Obviously, like from the first episode on, the episode that I recorded and then didn't save, and then the first time you and I talked, it's like, I don't know about this Shannon person, just because like new agey health guru, it just gives me bad vibes, right? And I was like, is that what this is? But it's like, well, I don't know that yet. And then last week it's like, okay, well, this is a whole other thing. She's giving me like Coach from South Pacific vibes, but it's like, just because I don't like it doesn't necessarily mean that CBS doesn't like it, right? Like CBS might be like, cool, somebody who's like gonna talk about Christianity. That's a huge part of our audience. But this week, I think we knew for sure the way that they set up her versus Sage and what we saw that yes, Shannon is the villain. And I know last week you were setting up as like, oh, yeah, go Sage. And I was like, no, Sage sucks too. But this week,
yes,
hashtag Team Sage.
Thank
all
you.
the way.
I was going to say, like, this had to sell you, right? Like, you're on board.
Yeah. And a lot of that's the power of the extreme dislike I have for Shannon.
Yes.
That is like, yes.
You know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You get it. It's
but I'll say, and I'll let you talk because this is your moment.
Yeah.
You've been built this was it, but like Sage herself, like it wasn't just that she was the antagonist because, like,
nope.
Man, sometimes two people can suck, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like she showed us some stuff, right?
Yep.
Like you know, every time I love the eye rolls, the looks to the camera.
Yeah.
But more like she's like, how are people not seeing this? And then as soon as she picked up that like maybe they were, it's like, what is this happening? And I was like, yeah, you go, Sage, yeah.
It was, you know, again, I'm enjoying Sage for the entertainment value, right? Like I have incredibly low expectations of Sage as a player. And then, you know, that scene you mentioned happens. She's like, oh my God, it's happening. You guys do see it? And then we cut to her spilling to everybody like, oh, just so you know, like, here's how I can prove I'm loyal to you. I know about Rizo's advantage, and like explains it in detail to the point that MC can be like, oh no shit, she's telling us the truth. That is legit how it's going down. And I'm like, oh, did Sage just have some game? I mean,
yeah.
The bar's
was that
low.
Sage like?
But yeah, I mean, I'm here for the weirdness, honestly. Like, I don't think she's like a Carolyn where she was weird but savvy. I think, you know, Sage showed a hint of savviness here. I don't think that's generally going to be her MO. But yeah, I mean, excellent reads on exactly what Shannon was doing. Like, great narration for us. The eye roll, the look, like the hug of Shannon, and then the look right at the camera, like, oh my God, I'm hating this.
Yeah, she's playing the player in that scene.
So good.
Oh, I just want a hug here. And I'm like, and then again, narrating for us that it's like, I know she just thinks I'm this lost orphan that needs something, but you know, like, again, yeah, she knows what she's doing.
She's a wolf baby.
That she is.
They named the episode.
It also helps that for the first time this season, we get an episode with her not describing things that come out of her own body.
Well, I mean, she might have, but it didn't make the edit this time. You know,
I'm pretty sure, though, Shannon did mention it. It's like, we can just be talking about, I think, did she say pooping? Or was it something else? I don't know. People, it's like, but yeah, like last week, she found like brand new ways. Like she went to different places that I didn't expect. Like she was throwing me off. It's like, because we'd already gotten, you know, pee and poop.
Yeah, of course.
And, you know, burping and all that, but like collecting blackheads is like, whoa, this is to the point where I almost like wanted to have a regular segment of like, what bodily thing is she gonna bring up next? You know?
It's gonna be so good. Just imagine like this, you know, she laughs.
I was gonna go for earwax, by the way. That was gonna be my next thing. Like, oh man, I got so much of that.
Oh, give her another week out there. She'll get her period. It'll be like a whole series of confessionals. It's gonna be great.
Of course, a man like me, I did not think of that.
No.
But yes. Okay.
See?
Well, we still have that to look forward to as well. But
what I'm saying.
But yeah, no, it was really savvy play. Both the way she slow played at first when she started coming on, though, I was like, oh, maybe she's going too strong. But then it seemed to work.
Yep.
And both because I think she already gets a little bit of cover because they've already kind of like, this is a weird girl.
Yeah, they clocked her. She's a weirdo.
But it's actually, she did what Jason failed to do for 2 weeks, which is basically, you know, you're in this bad situation where it's, you know, you and this other person, you need to sell those other people out. There's no time like, oh, I'll bring you into my multiple alliance where, you know, there's no cracks, but maybe I'll be good to you. Like Jason played it horribly.
Right.
We talked about it last week. The person that I was talking to at that time that was not you.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't hear it, but it was a great show.
Was it though?
I mean, better than possibly the episode it was talking about. But no, she was just like, yeah, man, and screw all those. And it's believable. It's not just that, like, now they're choosing between Sage and Shannon. And sadly, I don't think they'll ever get that choice. But it's like, Sage is actually somebody we can just bring in because she seems to have no ties to that other tribe at all.
Yep.
And, you know, given that this episode ends with 2 of their former yellow people leaving, there's a spot open for the wolf.
And not only that, but I think that Shannon doesn't present as a threat. They were pretty explicit about that, right? Like, I'm sorry, Sage doesn't. Shannon does, because, it's clear to these people that Shannon is scheming and playing. Whereas Sage, you're like, she's a fucking goofball. I mean, she like leads off an introductory conversation with like, oh, guys, just so you know, I fucking collect blackheads. Like, people don't do that shit. Like, she's...
No, that's not the, hi, my name is Sage, and I collect. No, it's like, maybe you get into that, and that's where, like, I agree that she's not playing a weirdo. I think she is genuinely a weirdo.
Yeah.
But I also think there's, like, an affect. Like, maybe it's, like, the shield she uses, that, like, she's so used to people rejecting her because she's a weirdo that she's just gonna
lead with
weird right away. So it's like, yeah. Anyway, sorry, continue.
But, I mean, I legit believe that she does have a jar of blackheads. Like, I don't think she's just like,
I don't know how you come up with that.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
You don't pull that one out of thin air. That is
How do you get a jar full? Like, I feel like the blackheads are small.
They're very small. So how long has she been collecting? That's my question.
And is it just the blackhead part, or is it like all the pus that comes out?
I gotta believe
these answers, like, Josh Wiggler, I'm sure you're still listening. I don't even think he does post interviews anymore.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, anyway.
Too bad. Yeah, I mean, this might be one of the rare times where we have to interview a survivor. Like, we finally fall on that sword. Like, I'm sorry, I just have questions about the jar.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Honestly, this is going to be a quick interview. Congratulations on how well you did, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But
not so concerned about your survivor experience. I need to know about this jar thing.
Yeah.
What other jars do you have laying around your house? Are we talking mason jar? Like, what size? There's a lot of questions I'd have for that.
What else are you collecting?
Right. Anyway, point of this is Sage does have the chance to ingratiate herself with that group. Like you said, it's not just that she's given them something and been willing to sell out Shannon. It's also that, like, the vibe that she's giving kind of fits, right? She's not going to like come in and try to railroad your alliance and be like, I'm going to call the shots and we're going to take out, like, Shannon might try to do that shit. Sage will not. Sage will be along for the ride. That's the impression that she's given these people. And so it doesn't seem like a terrible idea to be like, all right, Sage, come on in. Like, you're right. She does not seem like she's got some deep connections with people on the other side.
Because she doesn't.
Right. And, just having had conversations with her, I imagine they're probably like, yeah, I can see why she wouldn't have deep conversations and connections to the other side. Because, our first conversation, she was talking about her fucking zits. So,
I buy that you were a little ostracized, because frankly, we were going there too.
That's what I'm saying. It's like we were going to sideline you as well, but we could welcome you into the fold, I guess. So yeah, I think ultimately it works out really well for her. Like, it's a good strategy, but of course, as you mentioned, it might be all for naught. Like, this felt like such a rug pull of an episode, because if we'd gone to tribal,
they had gone.
Yeah, I do think it was legit that Shannon could have gone home here, and it was, they were set up for it. And as soon as the challenge ends, I'm like, fucking hell! Like, now I know what's going to happen, and I'm bored.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, I was actually, that's why I think this was an improvement. It was overall like close to decent, because I think the first part and the Shannon versus Sage stuff, and like also just really underlining that Shannon's a villain and also like lacks like social graces, like we get the stuff with Steven of how hard she's coming on, like that's perfect, right? When you're like in an extreme minority and it's like, here's what we're gonna do, I'm gonna dictate all the strategy here, I know what's going on. Gold star. But that just feeds into Shannon's ego. Like, again, I think she will, as long as she loses, be an incredibly satisfying villain, not in the kind that you need to bring back for any kind of future season, but like, I am rooting for her to fail. And if this episode had just gone the other way, then it could have been a really good one, right? And some of that's just luck of the draw. Sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. But I suppose some of it is also, hey, look at that. The tribe that didn't have fire last night was too weak to finish the challenge very well.
Right. So once again, we're continuing the narrative of, you disadvantage a group, and it turns out that has effects on them. Who knew that's such a thing? I know. It's almost like a point that's been proven again and again, both in this show and outside of this show.
Yeah, and it's like to the point where like I still am now struggling to like really judge the people on this season for how it's boring and the characters aren't engaging me. Like, it just so much of it feels like, even more so than any recent seasons, because obviously this like disadvantage thing has been a while, but maybe with this extreme heat that Jeff is talking about, like there's just the show is stepping on its own dick and it's hurting our entertainment value constantly because it's just like there's no drama.
Right. And I mean, Savannah's been sans Flint for like 2 days and she's just bawling
out.
Meanwhile, Sophie is like, I haven't
wasting away.
Yeah, I haven't had food at all. I've had a piece of coconut every day. And it's like some crab, maybe. Actually, I guess no, she hadn't had that because it would have been raw. So anyway, yeah, the point is, like, Sophie especially is just nothing left. And it's just been very predictable.
Yeah, and like forget like how uninteresting it is to see, people starving and all of that. It's just like, yeah, there's no change up on the dynamic for us as a viewer of your show that's about, who's gonna survive, who's gonna devote out, what's the there's been no decision making. It's been like, yeah, the tribe that's weakened loses, and then they just get rid of the person of least value to all the people. Like it can't generate any drama due to the decisions that the production has made.
Right. And I mean, on the one hand, I am disappointed that we didn't get to see Sage take out Shannon here. But on the other hand, it's basically the only plot that I'm remotely interested in at this point.
Yeah, so it's not bad that if it continues a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't want us to go for too long, and I'd really prefer that Shannon or Sage actually get the shot. But who knows if that's going to happen? So,
but yeah, we did have officially a decision. Like, I suppose every week there's a decision of who to vote out. But like, was Jawan versus Jason really a choice?
No, I mean, as always, they have to build some kind of narrative, right? Like I could maybe believe that they would have dumped Jawan if they weren't so convinced that the Hina tribe was sticking together, right? Like there's been enough talk of them like, wow, those guys were coming in and chanting before every tribal, and like, Jason gave them nothing. So it's like, all right. I mean, I think I can pretty much tell where this is going here, unless, Jason somehow finds an idol or saves himself in some other way, which he had a chance earlier with the advantage and didn't get that. Didn't even get to go on the journey. So I was like, nah, if they lose, he's gone.
Yeah. And yeah, it felt so manufactured.
Yep.
It's like, there's the genuine annoyance of Savannah with Jawan, which I both get, but also is like, man, that's just a cranky person. And symbolic of kind of the vibe I get from Savannah, who I like. But, she's very self-centered. I like that about her for this show. I hope that it will lead to some more interesting places once if the season becomes more dynamic. Sidebar, last week I made a comment about Savannah and Sophie and their bond. I'm like, why didn't they just say I could tell that we would get along because we're both Latina? The answer is that Savannah's not Latina.
Well,
that's a bad on
reason.
me. Yeah, that would be it. That's on me. I even looked up Sophie twice, even though I knew that, but Savannah, I just assumed the whole way. So
it's funny because Sophie I think is also from Miami, so it's a reasonable assumption.
Yeah, no, and I looked at it even though I think I already know that. Like, again, Miami, and I think I'd read it somewhere.
Right.
But Savannah, I was just like, I just assumed the whole way. She is not. She is part Asian. That's embarrassing.
Yep.
Anyway, but yeah, no, I never really, because you have to vote out Jason. It's not a choice.
Right.
He hasn't given you any reason not to. And even when it is his time, the only person he's bonded with is Jawan.
Right.
So you can't really work there.
Exactly.
When Savannah's going to him, and it really felt like we're bored, we might as well work something else here. Maybe it's an extension also of we want Jason to feel like there's enough chance that it's not him, so he won't play his shot in the dark. I also wonder if it's a bit playing ball. It's like, okay, we get you. The show needs us to manufacture that there is a possible, other.
Right.
But no, and it has to be Jason. I don't care how much Jawan's annoying you. Frankly, if he's annoying you that much, he's probably going to annoy the other tribe. But yeah, it's a choice between somebody in Jawan who might flip on you and someone in Jason who is definitely, it's not even flipping, right? Like he never went to your side in the first place. When the show hands you an opportunity to get rid of somebody like that, you have to take it.
Well, that's the actual question, right? Is that should the Blue Tribe have thrown that challenge because they should have seen the writing on that wall?
I suppose this is the one place where you can be like, see, it's good that they take stuff away from them. Because volunteering to throw a challenge is also volunteering to not have fire anymore.
Yep.
And in this case, would it be volunteering to not eat chicken? I think I want the chicken in the fire more than I want to vote out Shannon.
Not going to go in there and just eat raw chicken in exchange for getting rid of a red flag.
Well, I mean, you're not going to win the chicken, too, right? It's part of the challenge,
yeah,
right? So
forgot they didn't have them yet.
But yeah, by having combined immunity and reward, and then also extra punishment for losing immunity, I think that probably prevents people from throwing challenges.
Yeah, it certainly does tilt the balance in favor of not doing it, right?
Yeah. And then the other thing is like, okay, that might be a good idea for the former Hina members on that majority tribe. Throw a challenge, save Jason, get rid of Sage or Shannon. But it's not a great idea for Alex, who doesn't know. Like, again, he's gone to tribal council. He's probably not anxious to be without a fire. He did that for like a week. And he was the bucket getter, right? So it's like, it was a close challenge, but it's like, how do you throw it when like this one guy who's like, yeah, I want to do this. Like, I don't think Alex can be like, okay, yeah, I'll throw a challenge so that you could potentially vote me out.
No, that's the other thing. You're right. Exactly. He can't be convinced that they wouldn't vote him out,
Yeah. They've never gone to tribal council. It'd be easy to see that he's more dangerous than Sage or Shannon.
Yep.
Like, logically, it would make sense. Yeah, no, we want to get rid of one of those former, Ulis. I only know the tribe names because I'm literally looking at the screen right now.
Yeah, I know one only because they chanted it.
Yeah. And then tonight they chanted their new name. But yeah, it's like if it was all Hinas and it's like, you know what, we can go a night without whatever, maybe. But since it's not actually all Hina versus Uli, it's also Alex. I think that's why you can't throw it.
Yeah. It would have been logistically difficult. It's almost like why some conspiracy theories fall apart, because you would need everyone involved to be airtight and not always easy as it sounds in the narratives that you craft.
Also, it's that clearly you don't actually have to be smart to just do the wildest shit as the government. You can just fucking do it, apparently.
Yeah, you don't have to hide it. It's not some giant behind the scenes plot. You could just say it right into a TV camera.
That's what we're doing.
It's fine.
Or do it and then bald-faced lie to people. No, we're not tearing down the White House.
Well, speaking of bold lies, let's talk about Nate on that journey.
You're in mid-season form despite not having been on the show much.
Yeah. He thank you, by the way. Nate's plan, he's thinking correctly, I think. The MC's got him if it comes to like looking for the advantage. Like, she's in better shape. She's probably going to find it. So he recognizes this and he's like, okay, so my only thing that I can do here is just not have anybody get it. And then both of us get our votes back. So it's just basically status quo pre-journey. And so his move is like, which was a good pitch and totally reasonable. Like, hey, let's just get it down to one sandbag left. Then we got time. We'll go both search. We'll see if we can find it. And then, we got to make sure we keep our votes. So we'll run back. We'll get the last bag. And she's like, yeah. Which, again, totally understandable. Very impressed. Good plan. Not surprised that it worked that well. The thing that I was surprised that worked well was him saying, oh, shit, we got to hurry. And she's like, oh, man, doesn't seem like a lot of time. Then they show her back and looking at the sand in the hourglass. There was so much fucking sand left in that thing. Like,
I was shocked at how much there was.
Yeah, I was thinking like, oh, is it going to be close? Like, no, there was a lot still left. And like,
it felt like, and obviously the way hourglasses work and camera angles, like we might not have been able to see the whole base. It felt like there was more to still drop
exactly
than had already dropped.
and realistically, like I think they said it was roughly they're giving him an hour, I think, right?
Mhm.
And that was
If it is truly an hourglass.
right. Yeah. So just ballparking it. Let's say that's conservatively 15 minutes left. It was not like about to expire. Like also another thing, if you wanted to reverse time, everyone knows you can just smash the hourglass.
That's right.
That's how that works. So I'm surprised that move worked. And MC was like, you're right. We should just go ahead and take this bag across the finish line.
And I think that's her reaction. I'm going to chalk up like, man, these people are hot and tired. She's like, I mean, that's a lot, but I guess so. Another reaction before we get to kind of Nate part of it, that's so much time. Clearly, this was all just set up for the second half of it, before the advantage find part of it. Because every indication we've got is they were not rushing their way through the hourglass. So it seems like that part of the task, while very physically demanding, and I think managed to wipe Nate out for the immunity challenge that was probably later that day, if we're being real, was completely achievable. Like the mystery of whether you would get it done or not is not a mystery at all. Clearly, you were going to get it done because there was so much time left. I fully respect Nate for this. It's such an old man move, right? It's like, for one, I don't have the time extra. I'm not going to see it. And you see, I'm wearing these glasses. The prescription changes every year. And I speak of this as somebody who I believe is the exact same age as Nate. But it's like, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. I mean, I respected the move. I was just shocked that it worked. That's all. But I think you're right. Roughly, I would guess it looked like they expected them to probably finish with, a little less than half the time left. If they're going at a relatively brisk pace, which I think they were, they weren't hoofing it, but also they weren't just dragging the entire time. Like they were doing fairly well. So yeah, they probably had a solid 25 to 30 minutes to work with. And then, they must have searched for roughly 10. And then they're like, nah, done. That's it. Yeah. No more. So props to Nate.
And again, like I think she would have kept looking. So good on him.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. I am apparently half a year older than Nate.
Oh.
And it's just the dynamics of Survivor because he feels so old to me.
You're like, look at that old ass man.
Like a lot of it, I get it. Like he does feel, that's why I've been drawn to him. It's not like he's super dynamic, but I'm like, I respected that. And that was totally this, But he's also like, I don't understand the kids these days. And maybe it's just, hair and glasses, right? But he feels older than I feel.
Yeah, he's got that dad energy. That's what it is.
Which obviously I do.
Right. But, one of the things that he leads off with when like, talking to MC is like, so I'm a dad and I'm like stay at home dad, and like he makes it a big part of his identity to these other people, which kind of makes sense because he's trying to cover for his actual career. So yeah,
I think what it is Nate comes off as the tribe dad.
Yeah,
and I don't feel like I'm the dad type when I'm around other adults.
Right, like if you were out there, they wouldn't be like, oh, Andy's such a fucking dad.
I mean, they might, right? I'm just could be in denial about this. And frankly, like, I don't tend to spend time around people in their 20s, so I just don't know.
Well, see, I think the problem is that, like, I don't think you'd be tolerating Rizo, so they wouldn't feel like you had the dad energy. Whereas I think Nate's like, all right, these kids, they're annoying, but whatever, I'm going to take them under my wing. It's not you.
Yeah, so that brings us to what I decided in the time that you've been missing is a weekly segment because it was just happening organically. And I'm like, I think we're just going to check in every week because it always like the meter just seems to change to one side or another. And that is Rizo annoying or is he just young? So last week, the week prior, I was like, no, actually, he seems fine. He's fine. And, younger than me, whatever, different generation, so fine. But then last week, he was annoying the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And it was just from, like, his confessionals where, again, I'm fine with the Riz God. And his name's Rizo. Go with it. But how he always has to preface it with the man, the myth, the legend, Rizzo, and like again, even say it once, okay, but he said it like 2 or 3 times in the same, like, settle the fuck down, buddy.
Yep.
And that's kind of where we were at the first episode, like the stuff that feels like prefabricated, like playing a role, annoying when he's just by him, just talking, doing stuff, not annoying. So where did you land this week? Is he annoying or is he just young?
I mean, more towards young this week than annoying.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I could see, like, in a few years, him maybe being a little more tolerable. Like, he'll realize, man, probably shouldn't have been like that. That's on me. I was young. I made mistakes. Like, I could see that happening.
It's not even like fully mistakes. It's just be like, oh man, I was kind of a dummy,
Right.
And again, right after like a segment of I don't feel so old now here. I'm like, oh, these kids. It's like again, I understand the slang. It's fine. There, I understand that like you kind of talk more now because everything is like you're presenting your like social media. This is everything's that presented that way. But I think this week he didn't really have confessionals, so he was fine.
Yeah, that helps.
Also, he prayed to Luca to make the shots.
That was amazing. What a shout out.
I was trying to think, like, who's the top Albanian basketball player? I have no idea.
None.
Maybe it's Rizzo.
That might be. I did figure that you'd appreciate that one. Yeah. And it was funny, too, because he's like, what's the closest to Albanian? I don't know. Probably Luca. Let's go with that.
I haven't checked the map, but maybe it is.
Yeah. I mean, your options.
I was kind of interested. Like, what is Gen Z saying? Are they still going Kobe? Would it be Steph? But no, that's still too new. Luca.
Huh. Yeah. I mean, are they going to do Wemby soon? Is that? I mean,
I feel like nobody ever like tries to impersonate the big man.
That's
the big man are such aliens.
Even though he shoots, he shoots.
Yeah.
So whatever. I don't know. Yeah. Also, who could imitate the big man? He's
I mean, us
inimitable.
on Nerf nets.
Yeah. Even
against
then.
our children.
Yeah.
Not me anymore, by the way.
No.
One child is taller than me, and the other one's getting there soon.
Also, just the reach, man. Even with a Nerf hoop on 6 feet, am I just reaching and dunking like that? I don't know.
Oh no,
man.
I wasn't even thinking that high.
No.
I'm thinking like the maybe not even like the Fisher Price.
Oh,
type,
the little toddler hoops.
Yeah. Then I'm Wemby.
Bringing it down. Yeah. So I mean, Rizzo this week was fine, but I'm with you in that like there's times when it gets grating,
Yeah.
But I think that you hit on it. It's just the amount of confessionals. There is a proper amount of him to tolerate, and as long as you're at that amount or less, it's fine.
I also think the thing that also sunk Jason is that his plan was like, we got to go after Rizzo. Like, Where are you even getting that from? Why are you coming up with plans at all? All your plan should be is, hey, I'll do whatever you guys say, just not me. But no, he's like, oh, we're going to make some moves. You and me and you, Jawan, just us.
The two of us. That's how
Jason
numbers
sucked.
work.
Jason was great at puzzles. I don't know that he was good at Survivor at all. I don't miss him.
He was not.
Which is is a thing that he shares in common with every single person who's left this season.
Yeah. I mean, MC was the other alternate, and by contrast, like I think she's playing quite well. However, she has not been placed in a position like Jason. So
Jason seemed like he was doing fine when he was insulated.
Then you get him off where
I mean, she did give up on finding an advantage when she still had maybe 2 hours left.
That's fair. She got talked out of it. Although again, it's hot out there. You make bad decisions.
Oh, for sure. So. I give her all the benefit of the doubt. I thought I liked her in the scene.
Yeah, I generally liked her and Steven. I like them as a duo.
Yeah.
So,
and I like that Steven was the first to really see through Shannon, and then was and then Sage. Now it helped that like she literally wakes him up in the morning. It's like, how about this?
Right.
Which I loved. I loved that it's like you're not so smart. And
I specifically liked that Steven said, well, of course I'm going to say yes to that. Like, I'm not an idiot. Like, yeah, exactly. You just say yes to her face, and then you go tell your actual allies, okay, so here's the deal. So, yeah.
And I don't believe that Alex was seeing through it until Steven and then Sage started it. Then he was like, I felt like I saw a little bit of the light behind his smile start to fade. It's like,
Yeah.
what? She doesn't see me as her number one?
Right. No, I agree with you. I think both Christina and Alex were both like, yeah. They were legit
Christina
sold.
seemed like really like, yeah, because she had a big smile. Like,
Yeah.
like, oh.
She's like, I like her, though.
I see now
Yeah.
that there's a game afoot.
Yeah.
So again, speaking to what I said last week about Shannon, it's like, I don't like her. I want to see her fail. I'm uncomfortable with the clear way that she's trying to manipulate people. But last week I was like, but I might need to get handed to her. Like, it might, if it's working, it's creepy cult leader stuff, but it's working, in the same way that like, tip your hat to Brian Heideck, the Survivor player, not liking the player. But what is even more satisfying with this episode is like, no, I actually don't think she's that good at it either. So,
well, I mean, it's, when the weirdo is like spelling out exactly what's happening. She's like, oh, Shannon's locking in on one specific thing that she finds that you like, and that she just hammers and hammers and hammers it. It's like, yeah, like Sage can see that. This is how generically obvious it is to Sage. It's just that,
and it helps that I think because that Shannon has never tried to turn on whatever charisma she has with Sage,
right?
So it's more helpful than like clearly she was doing with Christina and Alex, and then trying with Steven.
I think also the reason why it works well on like Christina and Alex is the level of like self-absorption, right? Like they want to believe, of course, she would want to be buddies with me because I'm awesome. Whereas I think, MC and Steven, to a degree, are like, I don't know, man. It seems a little full of shit to me.
Yeah. And I expect the flip also, MC and Steven see themselves as the people kind of running shit.
Right.
Whereas Alex clearly was not. He's looking for some kind of, alliance. And I don't think Christina felt she was in that power position either. So, obviously there's opportunities.
Yeah.
But it was just gratifying when people were seeing through Shannon's bullshit.
I loved it. That said, though, next week we're getting a swap. So that means we only had this one for 2 weeks. Do you feel like this swap was a total dud?
Yeah, I almost think it might have been better not to have it at all. Like the positive was we no longer had to see the wholesale failure of the Blue Tribe.
Right.
We continue it with Sophie, but it's like there, and like obviously, clearly we're only going to get one more week of that no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like nothing changed. We got this. Savannah, or not, sorry, too many S's. Sage and Shannon bit, but they were on the same tribe before. Like, there's not to say that we wouldn't have gotten it. I guess having, fresher voices helped that. And I think I'm not even going to criticize the show. Sometimes it just works out that way. When you do this and suddenly it's 4-2-1 on both sides, whereas if it had been 3-3-1 on well, I guess that would have to be both tribes, that would have been really interesting. And it's just kind of luck of the draw, right?
Yeah, and I mean, the Shannon and Sage thing, if it had just stayed on the Red Tribe, well, Sage is doomed then, right? Like, it was Jawan and then Sage in some order that were going home, because Shannon did ingratiate herself with the other three, from what we saw at least. I don't think they were from that. Convinced.
And like the swipe at least gave us new character dynamics, but in terms of like narrative and plot, it delivered nothing. It was just too like easier votes than what Blue had. Blue at least is like, oh, I mean, Annie and Nicole, like, who cares? But there's a choice. Oh, and then it's like, oh, do I vote out Jeremiah or do we try to vote out Alex even though he has an idol? Like, that was the most interesting decision of the season. Yep. After this, it was just like, Matt's a little more annoying and sociopathic because he had a finance job. And then it's like, oh, now it's time for Jason. Like, it was just It generated no interest.
Yeah, I mean, the one compelling story is the one we've already talked about. That's Shannon versus Sage. Like, that's the only story it really generated. And, like, I was talking to Mike Hirsch, our theme song guy, about this, and he was saying, like, how as soon as the tribes would lose a challenge, like, you'd know who was going home. Like, that's what, that's how it's been going. And it's just...
Both of these episodes were fairly interesting until the result of the challenge.
Yeah, as soon as the challenge ends, you're like, okay. Now there's no more momentum.
I've stayed away from this because, you can only make the same point so many times. But I feel like...
You?
I know. I mean, I don't know what that number is, but I felt like I was approaching it.
Okay.
I feel like there's nobody who's really high on this season, which is the correct take.
Yeah.
This is what I've always been getting at with your 90-minute episodes, folks. I think everybody, when they're thinking about it, it's like, I just want more Survivor. How can you have too much of a good thing? And it's like, because it's not always good.
Right.
And it's like, I feel like this season would be genuinely much better if these were 42-minute episodes.
That could probably
60.
help. I mean,
Well, just because it feel less repetitive, right?
Yeah.
With Tony, right? We wouldn't get, from the, reward or from we know who's going home. We know who's the challenge. And now let's just go do another scene at the other beach because we got time to fill here.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it would help, but it can't save the
I'm not
fact
saying it would be good.
that, yeah.
I'm just saying the pace would be better. Right?
We might not have gotten this stupid bullshit about someone moves shoes.
Yeah.
That's a plot.
Pace means a lot, right?
Yep.
And if we just could shave 20 minutes off these things, they'd feel a little less boring because we spent less time with them.
Instead, we got some focus this week on the guys killing the chickens. So they win the chickens, then comes the dramatic discussion of oh, should we kill them? Who's going to do it if we do? And blah blah blah. There's naturally some people who are going to be like, oh, I'm uncomfortable with the idea. I don't want to be around, whatever. I do want chicken, but blah, blah, blah. And of course, Shannon's got to do her thing. I've set up the spirituality thing. I've got to bless the chickens or whatever the fuck she was doing. But then, so the two guys decide to do it. And there's one of our commenters, Something Quirky, pointed this out correctly, that Alex gives this confessional talking about how toxic masculinity just ruined him and is made him feel so inferior his whole life. And then he's like, but I killed the chicken, so who's a bitch now? What? You're the bitch now. You gave a shit about someone else's opinion about your masculinity, bro. It's you. You're the bitch.
He didn't conquer toxic masculinity.
That's what I'm saying.
I can understand having they're not going to poke as much fun at me now. Same way as I'm always getting this, but I hit a home run in Little League, so I get a reprieve for a week. It's not overcoming it, because how do you overcome that in our society at all? But
right.
He had his moments. I mean, toxic masculinity led to the fact that Alex and Steven were the ones that are going to have to kill those chickens.
Yep. But I mean,
they were no more qualified because they had penises.
Also, we all know the hierarchy is, who has the most Southern accent? That's the person that has to do it.
That was the whole thing. As soon as it sat over, I'm like, holy fuck. Is this the first time we've ever had a chicken reward where we couldn't point to somebody who's
yeah,
or at least rural? It's
right.
also been like Thai probably did in Fiji or whatever. It's not always Southern. It's often that, but just who doesn't have email job, right? And it's
right.
There's nobody. Yeah. Not on that tribe. I don't know that there's anybody on the other tribe. I think this was poor game design. You don't cast a season of nobody with that accent and then give them live chickens.
Yeah. I'm surprised it worked out as well as it did. I think what probably happened is they were like, Alex, you're at least Midwestern. That's the next in line. You didn't have the rural points, but at least you're Midwestern. That's the next thing we can award. So I think that's probably partly how it ended up. And then, obviously penis is on there too. So you got enough points between those two things that it had to be him.
But yeah, and this is so we've gotten rid of the Sia reward of Survivor. But one of Sia's influences, besides giving money to randomly anybody, my favorite thing was the people that were clearly playing for the Sia rewards. Yeah. It's nah, you didn't interest me. I don't care that you don't eat food, but she's okay, we understand that you're not gonna have, you're still gonna have these chickens, but can you make sure it's humane? All this is oh man, those two dudes might torture that animal to death. Yep. Kind of sounds like it's not going well with the audio, and they cut to the ladies, and it's
yeah,
this is I think exactly what she was talking about. Whereas, because I don't know, maybe they ended up getting it done, but it's I would have been in that spot, right? And it's I haven't done any of this stuff either.
You know what? The problem is I'm thinking of myself in that situation. I would probably, despite the lack of accent, I'd probably be, if I was in this group, I'd be
You're
the most
below that
southern one.
meridian.
I'd definitely be the most southern one. And not only that, but so my grandmother actually did tell me one time how you would kill the chicken. So I would know. It's just you grab them by the neck and you like propeller them
I think
around.
people know that, but
Yeah,
then knowing it,
But like,
I guess Jake probably would have, like, he would have been the one. I mean, not different accent, but like the Canadian equivalent, you know?
but I'm just saying, like, I mean, I get it. Like, my grandma even showed me the motion. Like, hey, you grab it like this, and you like, like, I would at least know. I wouldn't want to do it, but like when they would say, like, well, John, it's obviously you. I'd be like, oh, fuck, you're right. It's obviously me, right?
I mean, if it was the Purple Rock podcast staffers, we would still say, John, it's obviously you.
Oh, I know, because next in line, next in line would be like Mark.
Yeah.
So, oh man.
I mean, it would probably have to be you and me to go over, but like, yeah, because we're the dads.
The dads, yeah, that's true. You got. Oh man,
but like, you fix stuff in your house. I don't, you know. So it's like that's like that. You know, I heard you did plumbing once. It's the same thing. You know?
Yes, sure, it's the same shit. You used a screwdriver before. It's the same as killing a chicken.
Yeah, but it's just genuinely like as it was going down, it just struck me. It's like I feel like this is the first time ever where it's been noticeable of like, who's gonna kill that chicken?
Yeah, there was actually some debate. Like, wait a minute, there's not a default option here. Yeah. Hey, that in mind, I think it's important that we you know, a lot of times in this show we'll divert our attention towards the interesting topics of the day, and this episode gave us something good to work with, I think, and that is top 3 chicken dishes. It's an important discussion that I can't believe we've never had.
I feel like it's come close a couple times.
We probably have had we definitely had meals discussion before, but specifically we're going chicken dishes. Like, I can't believe it took this long even.
Yeah. Real quick to everybody who's like, oh man, I thought we were doing Pokemon. It's like, John and I are not of that generation, right?
No.
It's just you just heard that I'm older than Nate. Like, they didn't exist when I was a child, so I can't really have any opinions.
And not only that, like, I mean, my kids didn't really get into it. I mean, very minorly for like a couple weeks. So like, I know a few Pokemon names. Yeah, but I don't. Like,
if I was doing the show with Brad, I could do a list, but it'd be the most basic ass Pokemon.
Right.
Whereas chicken, though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm coming with the hot.
Like,
chicken
this is how it works.
Cakes.
It's like I was like, do you have a Pokemon one? You're like, nah. And you're like, how about top 10 to 3 chicken dishes? And usually, like, we're just throwing stuff out, and I'm like, yeah, maybe that. And I'm like, no, yeah, that. Like, I didn't even come. Yeah, and then I ate chicken twice today,
which you should. Is fucking delicious. Which is why
neither of which are gonna be on my list.
Ooh, actually, did I eat chicken? No, I did not eat chicken today. It took me a second. I ate chicken yesterday, not today.
For you, based on what I know about your eating, I'm going to say number 1 is plain chicken breast.
Jesus Christ. No.
So you can get those gains without...
Listen. All right. Quick aside. So when I was first dating my wife, I was like, hey, I'll cook for you. Right. Like, this would be such a cool thing because I can cook. But meanwhile, like, bachelor ass me, I've been living by myself for a while, and you're not wrong, right? I'm making a fucking chicken breast, and like maybe there's some broccoli and like a minor carb in there or something. Like, there's not complex meals that I'm making, right? And I'm so used to that, and so I invited her over, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna cook for you, and I realized, shit, you know what I usually make is just what I just described, and so instead I just like mildly added some flair to the chicken by making like a cornflake crust on it and like marinating it a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, nailed it. I just absolutely knocked it out of the park. And, you know, of course she ate it because we're just dating and she's trying to pretend that it's not garbage, you know. And then like, so of course now, years later, anytime she's telling people about like when we first started dating, she's like, you should have seen the first fucking meal this guy made for me. It was trash. And she's not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably made pasta, you know, so I didn't have much.
Yeah.
She started feeding me vegetables. And I'm like, oh, man, look at this.
Yeah. Is that what those are? Vegetables? Oh, shit. I've heard
All right. I have an honorable mention to start.
Same. Go ahead.
And this has to be an honorable mention instead of a top 3 because I'm an adult, but chicken nuggets are still there.
Roughly mine is fried chicken. Just
I considered that too.
Same ballpark, but I mean, it's just like, it's such a go-to staple dish, right? Like,
yeah,
there is such thing as bad fried chicken, but it's not hard to get it right. Like, there's also, you can get it really right and it's delicious. Fried chicken it's so good.
Yeah, you say that it's hard to get it right. I'm still waiting. Like I look around a lot for like some really good fried chicken from where I live, right? Like where you live, it's probably a lot easier than where I live.
Okay,
right?
That's fair. Yeah.
But yeah, with chicken nuggets, I mean, they're just when do they go wrong? Like even when they're like not good, it'll get it done.
Right.
Obviously as a parent, they're sometimes just a lifeline. Fuck it, here's your chicken nuggets. Let's go. Back when I used to work at a sports apparel store, like we sold jerseys and stuff, we would go in during football season. We would come in an hour early, just so we could turn the TV on and watch football uninterrupted. And we would go get like 40 packs of McNuggets from the McDonald's that was in the mall. And that's like, just would be sitting there eating McNuggets, watching football, occasionally helping customers, but that was obviously a distant third.
Sure.
And then another chicken nugget story that I just want, because it's the funniest, is I just love when Jamie Oliver like had all those kids and he was like telling them the process of how chicken nuggets are made, with the paste and all that. And then he's like, so do you want chicken nuggets? And they're all like, yeah! Both, rejecting his attempts to gross them out on that concept, and B, like clearly they I think thought he was offering, and then he was like, oh shit, because like his whole deal was like, oh, if I show them how these things are made, they'll
healthy
never eat
options.
those.
Yeah, we're gonna convince them to eat better. No,
and I respect that so much for the kids because I think there's this thing where people get really snobby about their food, like, oh, do you know what goes into a hot dog? Whereas for me, I'm like, isn't it great that we're using all the parts of the buffalo here?
Great. Yeah. Whatever animal this was, for the few times a year I eat it,
we've
I'm
made
fine.
foodstuffs a few times a year. Let's be real for me. All right. Do you want to start or?
Sure. I'll go with my number 3, which is orange chicken. I recently, I just mentioned how terrible I was at cooking many years ago, but now, I've got a little handier in the kitchen. I found an orange chicken recipe and I've learned to make it myself and it's so fucking good. And like, just get the sauce and when you nail it and get the right amount on there and it's all crispy and it soaks in the sauce, A+. Amazing dish. Huge fan.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of different answers because there's so many good ways.
Exactly.
It's the beauty of the chicken, right? The versatile.
Yep.
I'll also say, though, like, it can be a boring-ass food to eat sometimes, too. Yeah, like, there's a lot of parts of types of chicken I'm a fan of, but there's also times like, Like, I never order it in restaurants. Well, I mean, just basic, like your chicken platter.
Right.
Some people will say that's the best test of a chef. If they can make, like a chicken breast, interesting, they're a really good chef. But yeah, my number 3, I don't know, it's a basic idea, but sometimes that's the thing with top 3s. People try to get too creative, but this is the top. These are what's good.
That's right.
I'm going with butter chicken.
Solid dish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to give it away, but I'm going to go heavy on Indian here. So my number 2.
Well, you only got 2 spots left.
Well,
so
that's what I'm saying. So my number 2 is actually chicken vindaloo. It's delicious and it's spicy as shit. And I actually, when I was missing one of these weeks, I went out with my best friend. We were in New York. We were like stopped at this Indian place. And the guy was like, oh, my friend orders. He's like, I want mild shit. And so I ordered. I'm like, oh, I want vindaloo. And the guy's like, that's spicy. I'm like, I know. He's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. And so he brings it out. And I mean, I've had it before. It is spicy, but it's delicious. And that shit was hitting. And to the point that he came back and I mean, the nose was running. I had tears in my eyes. He's like, you crying? I'm like, a little bit. I'm like, but it's really good though. I was just like, keep it coming. Delicious.
I love being racially profiled like that when you order from certain places.
Yeah. I mean, not
from
wrong.
Experience, they're not wrong, right? Once when my wife and I were in Rome, we went into this Ethiopian restaurant, and it pretty much felt like we were the first 2 white people that had ever entered the restaurant. Like, sure, and all this, and then like, do you want to know? I'm like, no, we know how to order. Yeah, it's good doing this. And then like I felt like people in the kitchen were coming like to look at us.
Like, what are you doing here? Are you lost?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like I mean, European racism is a whole other level too,
It
right?
is.
So they're
Yep.
like, it was good though.
yeah.
No chicken in that meal, or there might have been, but the beef was probably what I was more.
You didn't do the
focused on.
Dolawat
Instead,
thing.
I honestly give me a sample platter and I'll eat it. You
That's
know?
fair.
And that's actually one of the cuisines I prefer the veggies. I mean, I will not just get a veggie plate. I'm getting like the beef and all that too.
Sure.
So my number 2, I'm going with chicken wings.
Okay.
Big fan of chicken wings. My favorite, I prefer flats to drums, but I want a mixture on the platter. And then I like salt and pepper. Well, actually, lemon pepper is what
I was just going to
prefer.
say, how you seasoning these things? How
But
you
not
flavor
every
'em up?
place has lemon pepper, so I'll default to salt and pepper. And then I do like a hot wing, but like I'm not going that heavy. Like I'm not going very far on hot ones,
Right.
and like much less far and like much less hot than I was into say 20 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right. And the number 1, chicken tikka masala. Again, because it's, why try to get creative with this? It's just possibly the best way to eat chicken. So, and I mean, again, for having these lists, there's a fucking ton of great ways to eat chicken. This is
no
for me,
crossover between us.
Yeah, this is the best way. You throw it in a fucking curry with some veggies, and there's onions in there, and there's peppers, and you just eat that shit over some rice. Maybe dip some naan into that. Unbeatable.
For my number 1, I went with chicken shawarma.
Also a great option.
Yeah,
God, chicken is so good, Andy.
It's just, and honestly, like you listen to it's all the stuff on the chicken. Really, like chicken itself is just, but it's a delivery method for flavors, right? Yeah. Whereas, like for a steak, I haven't like just put some butter and salt on that thing. Like I don't need anything else. The steak has the flavor.
Right.
The chicken doesn't. That's why it's so versatile for all these other flavors. So
Yep.
Yeah, my shawarma place. It's just in the community here, and then we know the guy. He's my shawarma guy. I have a shawarma guy. I got a haircut guy.
Right.
I used to have some other guys, but they had closed up.
Huh.
He calls everybody brother, and he knows, like, hey, how's the coaching going? All that. Somebody drove their car into his shop.
Oh,
like over the through the window
That's
last week. I'm like, hey, what's
not
the
how
deal
you're
with
supposed to
this
do
here?
it.
No, and it turns out like it was a skip the dishes driver. Do you have skip the dishes? The same like Uber Eats type idea.
Oh, okay,
I think
gotcha.
That might be a Canadian company.
Yeah.
And the guy just had a learner's license, which I feel like you shouldn't be a driver if you don't have.
No.
And they assume that he was driving with 2 feet. So the left foot on the brake.
Oh no.
And then when he showed me the footage on his phone, and it's like, that's what it looks like. Because it's like he's slowing down, and all of a sudden,
And then bam. Yeah.
So shout out to my shawarma guy.
Yeah. God, now I just want some chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sound off in the comments. Feel free to hit the little text us button. Let us know your favorite chicken dishes. PurpleRockPodcast.com, of course, is where you can leave some of your comments. Or, as I mentioned, you can send us a text, which we got this week. They call it fan mail.
Today.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's today. And actually, 2 of them today. Same person, not too long apart. So I'll go ahead and read them now. First one, hey there, Ben Folds fan here. My God, since I started watching live in the new era, this has to be one of the absolute worst starts to a season I've encountered. Like, even the worst season prior to this, Survivor 43, had some moments that popped thanks to Cody. Here, there's almost nothing, and we've just had consecutive weeks of a choice between 2 obvious boots, only to then just boot out the next obvious choice the following week. Do you think this might be a worse start to the season than even something like San Juan del Sur? Ooh.
I mean, I think I haven't done the math, but I bet San Juan del Sur might have had the douchebag episode by now.
Right. That's a good point. Like it did suck, but it had that one shining moment that was like, okay, well, this might have been worth the bad pre-merge. And like
Jeremy was more interesting than anybody we have so far. And like he wasn't even super interesting in San Juan del Sur.
Agreed.
But more, so.
Yeah, I mean.
And then 39 is the worst season we've had since then, but it actually was fairly interesting at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean,
the stuff that kind of happened that made it like, oh.
Right. Pre-merge, we were like still kind of hopeful, even although there were already signs in the pre-merge, but still.
Drew was the fourth boot. And John Rocker was around, which we didn't like, but it wasn't uninteresting, right?
Right.
So, yeah, no, easily worse than San Juan del Sur's beginning.
I mean, 43 was also pretty bad. I mean, yeah, I don't know. This is definitely up there, though, with the low quality pre-merge points.
Well, 43 might not have had like the same tribe going every time, because that's more of a like past few seasons. Yeah, like it looks like all 3 tribes had gone to tribal council in the first 4 weeks. I don't really care for any of these people that went out, but that in itself suggests that it was probably a little more interesting.
The other thing is, I always say, like, I'm not going to be too concerned about the quality of the pre-merge. Like the post-merge is the part that's really going to sell the season for me.
But you'd like to have something.
You do,
right? Like I don't want potential. Fireworks at this point. Like, oh my God, it's so amazing. Usually, actually, that leads to inversion, right? That the next part of the season isn't going to be good, unless it's like an all-stars type season where everybody, like, you could lose 5 people and still have a bunch of great ones. Which isn't always the way, by the way. Game Changers was this. It was exciting, and then also, oh fuck.
Yep.
Yeah, no. I think he's onto something. And, yeah. Like there's, and that again. The extra half hour every week didn't really help it out as much.
So, Ben Folds fan also had a follow-up. He says, most people bemoan there being an abundance of advantages and lost votes, but is it possible now that for the pre-merge, you almost need them to ensure an entertaining tribal council? I'm thinking especially of 42, when 2 people lost their votes and a rock draw was on the verge of happening, or last season in 48, when Kyle and Camilla bonded together and used to idle an extra vote the best way you could. Yeah, that Kyle and Camilla shit last season was great. Like, that was a legit, good-ass, fun episode.
A lot of last season was awesome. It was great.
That's what I'm saying.
It's unfortunate, like, you and I were a couple of the only people that were noticing, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah, a lot of people were down on last season, and just like, I thought it was genuinely good.
Well, I've already heard people like, oh, on a rewatch, when you know what happens, it's like, man, if you guys just, like, quit your belly aching, you would have knew what was happening too.
Right.
Yeah. Because we saw it. We're terrible at that.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you necessarily need the advantages and lost votes. The thing is, I think one of the reasons they got so into that is because it can manufacture drama. And we're seeing now, like, when there isn't manufactured drama, sometimes there's just not going to be drama. Yeah. And that sucks. So
yeah, I'd say, do you absolutely need it? No, because there's probably been seasons where like it didn't happen.
Sure.
But I'm also going to say, assuming Ben Folds fan is a he, I believe we've gotten enough context clues on that. We'll just go say that. I mean, I'm already in trouble for, missing.
That's right. You gave the wrong ethnicity to somebody.
Yeah. And I'm assuming there's one female Ben Folds fan out there. I'm not saying two. There's something to it, though. Like, especially like with the way that, and again, it might be more of a symptom of other problems that they should fix instead. But 3 tribes, 6 people, not a lot of movement there. Otherwise, the fact that it's such a harder physical game now, and they were talking about it again last night to pat themselves on the back, means you're going to be a little less interesting with your strategic choices, because like winning challenges and all that matters just so much more.
Right.
Because
you want your damn fire.
And because it's a shorter game, so there's less time for things to develop.
Yep.
That I do think like a lot of the decision making just becomes so rote that this is the whole reason why idols and stuff were invented, is like we need to throw wild cards into the game. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, it got to a point where it was too much and everything was wild, which also led to conservative gameplay.
Yep.
It's like, when you never know what's going to happen, just try to control the variables you can control.
Right.
But I mean, I can't deny that these past 5 episodes would have been a lot more interesting if one of the people who was clear target to go suddenly couldn't go.
Right.
Now, I suppose Jason had a couple of opportunities at that, because they do give you this dice thing.
That's true. And I mean,
But that one
technically,
honestly made that more interesting, right? Like if it hits last week, then Matt just goes. Well, if it hit last week, it would have meant nothing. Matt did
Right.
go. If it had hit this week, then they all just would have been like, all right, Jawan. So like,
Right.
I don't. That actually probably wouldn't have been that much interesting either.
and I mean,
You need something tangible that you could use, much like the most interesting episode this season was so because they were trying to maneuver around Alex's idol.
well, and I was just going to say, like, we did have an episode where an idol was played. And it was like, I guess that was, again, grading on the curve of the rest of the season. That was relatively interesting. But like, I wasn't super
But less
invested.
interesting than a dude getting bitten by a snake. Like this
Sure.
has been a dud.
Right.
And that was like the getting bitten by a snake wasn't interesting. Losing that guy in particular wasn't interesting. Shout out to the voicemail. It's like, hey, come on, why did you stick up for the guy from your province? It's like, there's a lot of people in this province that I do not rock with, by the way.
Yeah.
They're the majority voters of it. But yeah, it was interesting was the behind the scenes stuff, which is, I mean, the most compelling thing of this season so far is like seeing the medical bay.
Also, the person who wrote in to Canada shame you for not supporting your fellow countrymen. I want to point out that they referenced Regina, which I just wanted to say, just so you could see that as an American, I know how to pronounce that.
Nice. I was on a World War II tour in France. It was hosted by like an English guy.
Uh-huh.
And he kept saying the Regina rifles. And we finally all were like, hey, buddy, you've been pronouncing that wrong.
Oh, did you do the hey, buddy? Because, I mean, I'm not your buddy, pal.
I'm not your pal, friend.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully we revolutionize that guy's life.
Yes.
It's like you've ruined the most fun Canadian city to say.
Yep.
That or Moose Jaw.
He will never make that mistake again. You changed his life that day. All right, let's wrap this thing up. PurpleRockPodcast.com, as I mentioned, is our website. Go there, see the Fantasy League results if you're playing. If not, you can just comment on our posts. That's fun to do. It's more fun to do when there's a fun episode, but we can't do that much to control that. So, go in there, interact with the fun, cool people. Or, like I said, text us as these kind people did. Ben Folds fan was kind. I don't know about the other person, Canada shaming you. So,
they seem cool.
I mean,
actually, we know it's a she because I believe. Actually, no, we only mentioned husband. That could go either way.
That's true. Yeah. Don't be so quick to judge. You've already gotten.
They gave their name.
They
gave their name. I'm cool. I knew there was a reason why I assumed.
Okay.
Yeah, she seems cool.
All right. Fine. Anyway.
Sorry.
See you guys next week.
Hit the
theme music.
This is the